Hello everyone. Today we will discuss web designing, including position property, static, relative, fixed, absolute, sticky, and z-index. Position property is used to set types of positioning method for element. There are different positioning values: static, relative, fixed, absolute, sticky. We can also use top, left, right, bottom properties with position property. If you use the top, right, left, bottom properties before the position property, they will not work. Static property, it is if an element has a static property, we cannot set top, left, right, and bottom properties, and it follows the document flow and it is not positioned in any special way. Relative position, if an element has a relative position, then we can set top, left, right, bottom properties. Other contents will not adjust into any gap left by this element. Fixed element, we can set left, right, and top, bottom properties. Fixed property elements will be removed from the document flow and it stays in the same place where even if the page is scrolled down, so scroll down will not affect the element and does not leave any gap where it is located. Absolute is if an element has a absolute position, then it is relative to its parent. The default position of absolute element has a top left corner of its parent. If it does not contain the parent, then HTML document will be considered its parent. The element will be removed from document flow and other elements will be affected and behave as the element has been removed from the page. Sticky is mixture of two properties, relative and fixed. First it acts as a relative, then it will change its behavior from the relative to fixed position. Z-index is used to specify stack order of an element. An element with greater stack order is always in front of the element with lower element stack order. Z-index only works with a relative, absolute, fixed position and sticky positions. Let's do the practical for static property. So HTML, okay, apply the internal CSS. Write the style, write the selector, class selector. For static, set the position, okay, and now save it on desktop. Now apply this style on div tag. It is a class selector, so ABC class will be applied to this. So let's run the program. Okay, here I must write something here. so that it will display here. So as you can see, this is a static, and it is a static property, a static position property. Okay, so with a static we cannot use left. If I specify left 40 pixels, 40, then here if I refresh it, it will not give the 40 from the left, it will not give the space 40 pixels. Okay, if the property is relative, then we can apply left 40, as you can see here, and relative, save it, and now apply here. Position is relative now, position. There is, so make sure you have written the correct spelling of the properties or code. So now you can see the position is relative, and now we can apply left property. If it is a static, then 40 pixels will not apply. From the left it will not apply. Okay, but if it is a relative, if it is a relative, then we can apply left, save it, then we can apply left, and we can also apply right. From right side you can see there's the space. Okay, then you can also write the absolute. If absolute will work with parent, so if it does not contain any parent, then it will consider document as a parent. So let's create a parent for this one, parent class. So position is relative, because the absolute will always be relative to its parent, so parent should be position relative. And let's type the same properties. Okay, let's say it's orange. So absolute says that if there are other elements, let's run it, and if there are other elements, they will be affected. h1. Okay, so let's write h1. If I write h1 and if I print it here, so it says I am h1, and now it's correct. So here you can see I am h1 has been written here, but the default position of the if I remove this right 40, if I now print, as you can see the default position of the absolute is top left corner. Okay, as we discussed in theory. So if we increase height is 200 pixels, width is 200 pixels. So now you can see the h1 tag has been now hidden, and it is affected because when you apply absolute property on an element, that element will be removed from the flow of the page, and this element h1 will not know whether this element is present or not. Therefore h1 will be printed in the beginning, and it is because h1 knows that there are no other elements. If it is relative, if I am changing the property, if it is relative, now h1 knows that there is a element, and it will print the I am h1 after the box. Let's refresh it. If it is element relative, then this element will know, h1 element will know there is an element above me. But if it is absolute, if it is absolute, now h1 element will not know that there is this box, so it will print itself in beginning of the page, so it will be hidden. So this is the absolute example. Let's create a more appropriate example for h1 for absolute. Okay, let's write. Okay, now there are let's write div here. Now apply the, now this tag is a parent tag of this one, and now apply the parent class is parent. Now you can see a parent is a relative type, so the this one this h1 element will knows that above me I have an element which is div, therefore it will print itself below the box. But as you can see, this the color of the parent is orange, but here on output we can see that the color of the box is light blue, so the child has been displayed. But if you want it is because absolute will occupy the absolute position, and in the backwards whatever it is, it will not display. Okay, so if you want to display the backward element, then you can specify top, you can give the space top 20 pixels and left 20 pixels. So you will see you cannot give the pixels. Okay, now you can see that there is a parent which is orange, and then there is a blue box which is child. Okay, so this child is a relative to this one parent, and parent is a part of the document, it is part of the flow of the document. So this is known as absolute. Now let's try the fixed. If an element is fixed, let's remove this one. If an element is fixed and its top is 300, let's suppose, and its top is 300 and its right is 0, so it will be located, the box will be located to the right side, and a margin with margin 300 top, so it will always be located here. And if you want to give the other elements in document, you can give, then you will see appropriate example. Quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Okay, so now I have a paragraph, multiple paragraph, and now if I want to scroll down, you can see the element fixed, this box is always remains on the same position because its property is fixed here, its position is fixed, therefore it's always on the fixed position, and it's now not part of the flow of the diagram, flow of the page, because the flow of the page is upwards to the downwards, and it should, if it is part of the flow of the document, then it should goes downwards or upwards. So if it's fixed, then it's not part of the document and it's removed from the flow of the flow. It's part of the document, but it's removed from the flow of the document. Okay, so this is an example of fixed property. Now let's look at the sticky document. Sticky is a relative document. So sticky is has two properties. It contains a relative as well as fixed properties. So if an element here I am sticky, okay. So if I say padding is 30 pixels is enough, I think. Okay, and I will remove the left and right, and if it is sticky, then first it will and it should be top 0, let's say. Okay. Now this will apply to the div tag, and inside div tag there is a sticky. So let's refresh this page. Now you can see above this okay, I am writing the h1 tag again, h1 close, use of CSS position. Okay, so now you can see above the sticky there is a h1 tag, and now this sticky is a relative. Now this sticky is in relative position. When I scroll down, when it comes to the sticky element, then it changes its behavior from relative to the fixed. Now if I scroll down the page, then you can see its position is fixed and its top is 0. If I increase the top, let's say 6, then if I refresh it here, you can see when I goes up and there is no space. When I goes down, now it's fixed position, but you can see top is 6 pixels. If you can increase up to 60, let's suppose. Now you can see at this position, this is in relative position. Now when you comes to the sticky element, then you will see that it changes its behavior from relative to the fixed position. So this is known as sticky. Okay, now let's do the practical for the Z index. Z index will work with absolute. Okay, absolute, and let's draw the. Okay, let's remove this text from the page, and let's draw 3 boxes. Let's first box 1, and okay, the first box has height 200, width, it contains 200 pixels, and now Z index is 1, 2, let's suppose 1. Box 1 has value 1. Okay, now let's draw the second box, box 2, whose value is 3. This is 1, this is 2. Okay, and the color of the box is black. Let's draw the other box, the box 3. and its value 3. So and its color is orange. And let's see that we will move this box because it's absolute position, so all 3 boxes will remain on the same position. Okay, so let's apply to the this box 1 will apply to the div 1, this box 1. So now box 2, box 3. As you can see, there are 3 boxes and with index minus with index 1. Absolute, there is no correct spelling of absolute, LUTE. So make sure you when you apply the properties, please follow the syntax. Now you can see all boxes on the same are on the same position. Now let's move the left 20 and let's move the top 20. Okay, if this is 20, no, this remains same, and let's move this on 20 pixels and move this. Now you can see here box 2 will be removed on the will be moved on 20 pixels left. Okay, the black one, left is 20 and top is 20, and now this one left is 40 and top is 40. Save this one here, refresh it. Now you can see okay, let's try 25. Now you can see that there are 3 boxes, and first box has an index 1, this index has an index 2, this has an index 3. So according to the definition, it says an element with greater stack order is always in front. Okay, so the greater stack order has which box has a greater stack order? The orange one. This orange one has a stack order 3, and however the others has a 1 and 2, so 3 will be in front of the screen with respect to other elements. If you increase this one, the highest is 3, so you increase 4, you will increase the stack order of a black box 4, then black box will appear in front. If we refresh it, you can see black box is now in the front position. If you increase the position of light, if you increase the blue box stack order of the blue box, the highest is 4, then you can increase 5, and now save it. Let's refresh, then you will see that blue box will appear in front. So you can see that. So this is an example of Z index, and if you have any question you can ask. Thank you.